There's this strange electricity in the air right now, isn't there? Like something massive is about to shift, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Maybe you've been feeling restless lately, scrolling through your phone at 2 a.m, wondering why everything feels so heavy, so stuck, so endlessly repetitive. Maybe you've caught yourself staring out windows more than usual, searching for something you can't name. Well, let me tell you something that might sound impossible right now. December isn't just another month on your calendar. It's not just another collection of days you'll survive through while waiting for January's fresh start promises. December is about to become the month that changes everything. Not because the universe suddenly decided to favor you, not because you're finally going to catch a break, but because you're about to discover something that's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. See, most people think transformation happens in January. They believe that's when real change begins, when resolutions get made, when life finally starts cooperating. But that's exactly backwards. January is when people perform change. December is when people actually change. And the difference between those two things is everything. Right now, while everyone else is coasting toward the holidays, while the world is winding down and settling into familiar patterns, you're about to tap into something most people never access. The raw, unfiltered potential that lives in the spaces between what was and what's coming next. That liminal energy that exists when one chapter is ending, but the next hasn't been written yet. You've probably noticed that your tolerance for certain things has been dropping lately. Conversations that used to feel normal now drain your battery. Routines that once provided comfort now feel suffocating. People and situations you used to accommodate without question suddenly feel impossible to navigate. This isn't you becoming difficult or antisocial. This is your system preparing for upgrade. Think about the last few months of your life. Really think about them. How many times did you catch yourself saying yes when you meant no? How many times did you shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for your full expression? How many times did you choose the familiar discomfort over the unknown possibility? All of that was preparation. All of that tension you've been feeling, that restlessness, that quiet dissatisfaction, it wasn't random. It was purposeful. Your December breakthrough isn't going to look like what you think it should look like. It's not going to be dramatic or just Instagram worthy or something you can easily explain to other people. It's going to be quiet and internal and absolutely revolutionary. It's going to happen in the small moments when you finally stop negotiating with your own knowing, when you stop asking for permission to trust what you've always felt was true. Most people spend December in survival mode. They're managing family dynamics, meeting year-end deadlines, juggling social obligations, counting down days until they can finally rest. But you're not most people. You're about to use December as a laboratory for becoming someone who doesn't just endure life, but creates it. Someone who doesn't just react to circumstances, but shapes them from the inside out. Here's what nobody tells you about timing. The calendar year ending doesn't create opportunities for change. Your willingness to honor what's been trying to emerge through you creates those opportunities, and that willingness, that readiness, that quiet revolution that's been building inside you, it's reaching critical mass right now. You know that feeling when you've been wearing clothes that are slightly too tight for months, and you don't realize how uncomfortable you've been until you finally put on something that fits properly? That's what's about to happen with your entire life. You've been operating in patterns and relationships and ways of being that were never quite the right size for who you're becoming. And December is when you finally get to try on what actually fits. The people around you are going to notice something different about you this month. They won't be able to articulate what it is at first. Maybe they'll say you seem calmer, more focused, more present. Maybe they'll comment that you're making different choices, responding differently to the same old triggers. Some will celebrate this shift. Others will resist it because your evolution forces them to confront their own stagnation. Both reactions are perfect information. What's happening right now isn't just personal growth. It's not just you getting your life together or finally figuring things out. What's happening is you're remembering something you forgot somewhere along the way. You're remembering that you were never meant to just get by. You were never designed to simply cope your way through existence. You were built for something more expansive, more authentic, more aligned with who you actually are underneath all the performing. December is going to strip away everything that was never really yours to begin with. The borrowed opinions, the inherited limitations, the hand-me-down fears that you've been carrying around like they were precious heirlooms. This month is going to reveal what remains when you stop trying to be who everyone else needs you to be. And what remains is going to surprise you. The best part about what's coming isn't the external changes, though those will happen too. The best part is how you're going to feel in your own skin, how you're going to move through the world with a quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself, how you're going to make decisions from a place of clarity instead of anxiety, how you're going to stop asking other people for permission to trust your own instincts. This December transformation isn't something you have to force or hustle your way into. It's something you allow by finally stopping your resistance to what's been trying to happen all along. Your resistance to change hasn't been weakness, it's been intelligence. Your nervous system has been protecting you from shifts it wasn't ready to handle. But something fundamental has shifted in your capacity over these past months. You've been building internal strength without even realizing it. Every time you didn't collapse when triggered, every time you chose to feel your feelings instead of numbing them, every time you sat with uncertainty instead of rushing toward false clarity. All of that was training for what's about to unfold. December is going to feel different from the moment you wake up. Not because external circumstances have magically improved, but because you're going to start operating from a frequency you've only glimpsed before. That frequency where decisions feel obvious instead of overwhelming, where boundaries set themselves without drama or explanation, where you naturally gravitate toward what nourishes you and naturally repel what depletes you. You're going to notice that conversations you used to dread become either irrelevant or surprisingly easy to navigate. Problems that used to consume your mental energy will resolve themselves with minimal input from you. Opportunities that were invisible before will start appearing everywhere, not because they weren't always there, but because you're finally tuned into the right channel to receive them. The strangest thing about this shift is how normal it's going to feel. You're not going to wake up feeling like a completely different person. You're going to wake up feeling like yourself, but without all the static, without all the second guessing and people pleasing and exhausting internal negotiations that used to run in the background of your daily life. It's like someone finally adjusted the antenna and now everything is coming through clearly. People are going to start treating you differently this month, and it's going to catch you off guard at first. They're going to respect your time without you having to fight for it. They're going to accept your no without pushing back. They're going to seek your opinion on things they never asked you about before. This isn't because you've become more assertive or learned better communication skills. This is what happens when you stop broadcasting confusion and start transmitting clarity. Your December breakthrough is happening whether you believe in it or not, whether you feel ready or not, whether you understand it or not. It's not dependent on your faith or your effort or your ability to figure it all out in advance. It's happening because you've reached a tipping point where staying the same requires more energy than changing. And energy always flows toward the path of least resistance. The relationships that are meant to evolve with you will start deepening without you having to work at them. The ones that were only surviving on your people-pleasing will naturally fade without drama or confrontation. New connections will appear that feel effortless and authentic from the very first conversation. This isn't you becoming picky or antisocial. This is you finally operating at your natural frequency and attracting what matches that vibration. You're going to start making choices this month that surprise even you. Saying yes to invitations you would have declined before, walking away from commitments that no longer serve you, speaking up in situations where you used to stay silent, following impulses that feel risky but somehow completely right. These aren't going to feel like bold moves or major decisions. They're going to feel like the most natural thing in the world. The work projects that have been draining you will either transform or phase out of your life entirely. New opportunities will surface that actually utilize your gifts instead of just your willingness to please. Money will start flowing more easily, not because you've learned some new strategy, but because you've stopped blocking it with old stories about what you deserve or what's possible for someone like you. Your physical environment is going to start reflecting this internal shift. You'll find yourself rearranging spaces, decluttering possessions, creating room for what wants to emerge. Your body is going to feel different too. Lighter, more energized, more at home in your own skin. Sleep will come easier, food will taste better, Movement will feel like joy instead of obligation. The most profound change will be in your relationship with time itself. You'll stop feeling behind, stop rushing towards some imaginary finish line, stop living in the future tense. December is going to teach you how to be fully present in your own life, and presence is where all the magic lives. When you're truly here, really here, everything you need becomes available. Every answer you've been seeking reveals itself. Every resource you require materializes. This isn't fantasy or wishful thinking. This is what happens when you finally stop fighting the current and start moving with the river of your own becoming. December is that river, and you're about to discover just how powerful the flow can be when you surrender to it instead of swimming upstream. So here you are, standing at the threshold of what might be the most transformative month of your life. Not because December holds some mystical power, but because you've finally developed the capacity to receive what's been waiting for you all along. The restlessness you've been feeling, that quiet dissatisfaction, that sense that something needs to shift. All of it has been leading to this moment. Your December breakthrough isn't something you need to chase or force or figure out. It's something you allow by simply showing up as yourself, without the masks, without the performance, without the exhausting effort to be who you think everyone else needs you to be. The person you're becoming has been knocking at the door of your consciousness for months, and December is when you finally open it. Everything changes when you stop resisting what's trying to emerge through you. And if you're here, if these words have been hitting different than they would have even a few weeks ago, then you already know what I know. This isn't just another motivational message. This is recognition of something that's already happening, something that's been building beneath the surface of your awareness. December isn't going to be the best month of your life because everything suddenly becomes perfect. It's going to be the best month because you're finally going to stop arguing with your own evolution. And that surrender, that alignment, that quiet revolution happening inside you right now, that's where everything begins.